Hello and welcome to Medieval Dynasty. Well, we're now into Chapter 2. Chapter 1, yeah, that was quite a long video, just because of the fact that I was probably spending so much time trying to explain how everything works, but in Chapter 2 it seems we need to actually, well, we just need to survive for a season effectively. So what it's suggesting we'd do here, we've got ourselves a house, and it's suggesting to actually set down a rabbit trap. So if we have a look under furniture and decorations, then we've got an option here for traps. And one of the things we can do is make a rabbit trap. It needs 10 sticks. I don't think it really matters where you place this. In my experience, I've never actually seen a rabbit actually go by. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put that down there. Now, it's automatically constructed. So it's effectively just a case of, well, just leave it really. After a while, we'll find there's actually a rabbit actually trapped inside of there. And then we'll be able to harvest it. Now, if I go back and try to set up another one, I can't because I'm limited to one trap at a time. There are other traps we can make, but we've got to improve our technology level, if you will, to be able to do that. So another thing it's suggesting we do is to make an actual spear. So we can make wooden spears at this level. So I'm going to make one of them. Now you can throw them, and you can just like melee with them. If you throw them, they tend to do quite a lot of damage. I'm just going to get something to eat here, otherwise I'm going to quickly starve to death. So we've got choices. I mean, I've got one wooden spear, so I'm going to equip that. Now, it's got an option down there where it says press F to equip, but if I press 2, it just goes straight into hotbar number 2. So let's see, what did that need to make, incidentally? We need logs, so it appears to have quite a few of these. So I'm just going to chop another tree down, because I like to carry quite a few of them. So then what you can do is you can literally throw it. Now that's interesting because it's got stuck. I'll grab that one, so then that one's over there. Right, okay. And then I'll make some more spears. So what I can do is it's got an option there which says R to craft more. So I'll now press R instead of just clicking that. I can set this to create 2 of them in one go. Right, so I've got several spears. If I press 2, you can see if I use the actual right mouse button, I can start to aim this. But if I just leave go of the right mouse button, it will back to where we were. You've got to actually press the left mouse button and then throw it, so I can target things, which is quite useful. So we've actually got to go and look for something to actually hunt, but it is actually saying that we need a knife. So we can make a stone knife. Now that needs 5 sticks and 2 stones, so we've got enough resources for that. So we'll make that. And these are quite useful, these little stone knives are quite useful to actually sell. Because obviously we've started with a certain amount of food. But it's a case of we need to start producing our own food. So there are options, you know, we can hunt for things, we can gather mushrooms at this stage. So we can gather mushrooms in the spring, in the summer and during the autumn. We can't get them during the winter though. And there's different types of mushrooms are available in each of the different seasons. There's a stone, yeah, I could do with that. But one thing we could do is we could mix these little stone knives, for example, and then we could sell those. So we'll actually be gaining experience by making them, and we'll also gain money by selling them. Maybe not a great amount, but it's still quite useful. Now it's interesting, I must admit, if you want to pick up a mushroom, you've actually got to hold the E key down. Whereas if I want to pick up a stick, I just press the E key, so it's, yeah, different things for different items, it seems. You could sell these mushrooms as well if you wanted to. Now, at this stage, I don't have the benefit of being able to see anything in this inspector mode. Let's see where we are on the map. So we're up here. So actually, I think I'll head over in this direction. But I'm just going to keep an eye out to see if I can find any, like rabbits, for example. There are rabbits, there are foxes, there are deers, there are wolves, there are bison. So there's different animals you can hunt. Oh, there's also boars as well. Now some of them are pretty placid, they won't attack you. But the boars, the bison, foxes and the wolves, they'll all start to attack you if you get too close to them. So that's just something you need to bear in mind, is to probably stay out of the way of some of these things. The rabbits and the deer will just run away. And you get different things back depending on, you know, what the animal is. So some of them will give you fur, some of them will give you leather. And you get different amounts of raw meat from them. Now, but at this moment in time, I can't touch these berries. Well, I can. I could pick these unripened berries. Ah, there's a rabbit over there. So what I could do, if I try and aim just slightly above that rabbit. Aha, there we go, we hit it. Oh, there's a wolf over there. Now this could be bad. Now what I can do is I can actually skin this rabbit. So I'll get a bit of meat back and some leather. Oh, I get fur from the rabbit. Wolves, yeah, this could go pear-shaped. When you're dealing with wolves, it's a case of, yeah, you've got to try and hit them directly in the head. The trouble is, if there's several of them, that could be tricky, because if you've got no actual spears back, it's going to be a deep duty. So, tell you what, because they're usually in packs. And that's a bit weird, I'm not hitting the tree. So yeah, the wolves tend to be in packs. And if one of them kind of spots you, it'll be a case of it'll start to howl and it'll let the others know as well. So you've got to be really careful around wolves. Once you get further on into the game, it's not so bad. But I think this, oh no, my stone axe is broke, so I need to make another one. Just keeping an eye out for that wolf over there. So that's quite useful. It's gone straight back into my hotbar. I think I might make some more spears here, just to be on the safe side. So somewhere over there is at least one wolf, but there might be more. And I want more of these wooden spears just to be on the safe side. Because it might take probably about 3 of these to take a wolf down. Right, let's get some of the logs off this one. See if I can hit it. Right, so there's 2 logs over there. Make another 2 spears. And I think we'll try and take on that wolf. Now you can do more damage if you can hit it in the head. So it's kind of, yeah, one of those things where it's going to be able to see me, but if I can hit it before it actually reaches me, I should be able to take it down. Now it does kind of recoil if you can hit it in the head. Ah, so it's already spotted me. Ah! My health is down, seriously. So even with two spears, that took it. Yeah, even with 2 spears, yeah, 3 spears it took in total to take this thing down. That's one thing to bear in mind as well, is that all of your tools, all of your weapons are going to wear, because they're all subject to wear and tear. Right, so I'm just going to head back to the house, because what I can do is I can cook that meat. So out of curiosity, how much raw meat have we now got out of one rabbit and one wolf? Well, 6 is not too bad. But at least I can now cook this and I can then get something to eat. But my health is down, that's the trouble. Now there are herbs out here that you can collect. So there's things like St. John's wort around here. There's also these little small plants that you can eat as well. And what they do is they'll actually cure your health, assuming I can see any. It's a lot easier when you've actually got the skill for it. So yeah, once you get the skill for it, you can see these things much easier because you can spot them in inspector mode. No, that's not one there. They're a lot harder to spot, I must admit. That I'm getting so much to being able to have this inspector mode. Should be some over there. But for now, I've just got to keep wandering around, looking on the ground for anything. No, it's not that. So I'm not seeing any around here. No. So I mean the St. John's wort, if you look at that, that's useful for counteracting poison. But there's another one that I'm looking for. Oh, that's it there. This little plant here, it's called a broadleaf plantain. So if I collect them, they give you 10 health. So they're things I tend to like to carry around with me. Gather quite a few of them once I find them, and just keep quite a few of them in my inventory, because then it's a case of if I run into a problem like that with a wolf or a boar, then I'll be able to get my health back pretty quickly. If you sleep, you can get a bit of your health back as well. Right, I'll tell you what, we'll just go back to the house and we'll... Oh, I can't sprint because we're overloaded. So the challenge at this stage is really just survival. I mean, we can go out and try doing quests, for example. We can craft things. Now, there is one building though that I can actually make, and that's for food storage. And that's something that's going to be essential. So I'll just light this fire here. Because what I can at least do is cook the meat. I press the R key there. So that'll give us more meat to survive, because that's all chapter 2 basically is, just survive through the season and we'll get more things to do. Now in the meantime, I may as well put some of this away because I can't really do much with them yet. Nope, didn't want to do that. Leave the straw over there for now. Food, tools, where's the sickle gone? So I'll put the sickle over there. Right, so they are things I need to keep on me. So there is one building we've got to learn, which was... it's not a house. Extraction, crops, crafting... storage, that's it. So we unlocked this one here, which is resource storage. So that's a big resource storage area we can build. Later on we'll get a food storage building. So for now I want to build that, but I'm going to need 10 logs. Let's see. Right, so that means I'm going to have to chop some more trees down. So what I want to do now is to actually build this storage building, because that's something that we've unlocked, but it's a case of, it's very useful because when it comes to like the NPCs, they'll be able to get access to resources that you've got stored in this building. But it's saying I don't have enough logs. I can't even put the blueprint down, it just won't let me select it. So it's a case of, I've got to actually have those 10 logs on me. And they do weigh a lot, I must admit. So you've got to just keep emptying your inventory if you've got too many things in, if they're weighing you down. And then once I've actually got 10 logs, I can then use them to kind of like put the frame in. That's what I find a bit odd, is I don't actually have to have 10 logs to build the frame. But it's kind of weird, I must admit, the way they give you that restriction. Now, the question is whether it'll let me put it here. It's not a building, it's a storage one. Yeah, so because those tree stumps are there, it won't let me build over them. So the question is, can I actually build... It says a wooden hoe. Stone pick, a stone axe. So it's saying I need a shovel. So this is the challenge, is I can't build a shovel. So that's a bit of a pain. Yeah, I can't make a shovel, so the trouble is, even though I'd want to put the actual storage building there, I can't because the stumps are in the way. Now, it doesn't really matter because I'm going to end up moving this anyway, because as you go through the game you get better and better buildings, so you end up replacing them anyway. So this is just going to be probably temporary, because the idea is once you've got like a lot of resources, you're going to have a challenge where you'll have to replace it with a newer, bigger one. And the problem is you can't just like do an upgrade of the existing building, you've got to do a complete replacement. So, I think what I'll do is I'll put that here if I can, or somewhere here. And there's the road, or at least the start of the road, I should say. Let me see if I can carry that on a bit further. Right, we'll run this along here then. It's pity about the dips. No, it doesn't like fill them in or anything. But never mind. Right, so we want this storage building. Yeah, that'll do. I mean, I can't like zoom out to have a look and see what you know, what or where that thing's going to go, which is a bit of a pain. But it needs a lot of resources, and I mean a lot. I can't change things about this building, it's just walls, it's just sticks basically. And I've got like tons of sticks, smaller logs. So there's all sorts of little different places we've got to now go around and fill in. So yeah, I'm going to have to do more tree chopping by the looks of it. Right then, so that's now finally done. Yeah, I mean, that's just like tier 1 storage. That took a lot of resources just to build this thing, I must admit. It's a lot of trees I've had to go through. I've had to go and get a lot of straw as well. So I'm just going to put all these resources into here. Well, actually, I may as well put them into here, because that's the whole purpose of this building. Is my house there, it's got its own private storage. Any house I build will have its own private storage. This is sort of like a community storage facility. So by keeping things here, I suppose it goes both ways, but by keeping things there, it means all of the NPCs will be able to get access to it. And in case of any resources they gather would end up in there, or at least are accessible through there. So it's something to bear in mind, is if there's anything that you want to keep specifically for yourself, you'd be better off actually, you know, put it in your own storage facility. So if you want to keep a hold of some sticks, for example, just for you, yeah, put them into your own chest. Otherwise the NPCs could use it. Right, so I want to transfer them over. I may as well just leave all of them in here, to be honest. I mean, there's only me to get started, but all the same, I may as well use that. And the good thing is, the more of these you build, they do actually link to each other. So interestingly enough, I mean, although we're down here, it is possible, for example, I could build another one of these storage facilities out here, for example, and anything that I put in there, it'll be kind of like linked to this storage facility here. So it means I'll be able to access any resources over in a storage that I build over there, which is extremely useful. Now, as it turns out, we've already caught our first rabbit, so I didn't specifically see one. So I've got now some fur and I've got some meat. Now, I've got to rearm this trap. But you can see it said it was like 64% durability. So every time we use this, it gets worn out and eventually it'll break and we'll have to build another one. But it's they're definitely useful to have. Just keep an eye on those, usually like every day, at least once in a day, they'll usually, you know, catch something. Well, in this case, it's the specifically for rabbits, and that's all they do is they catch rabbits. So although I've never seen any rabbits around this area, we're still catching them, so yeah, go figure. Right, so what was I going to do? Oh yes, skills. We managed to learn some skills. So because of all of the stuff I've been doing, since say like if you do felling of trees and mining, you get extraction skills. So I mean, we've got choices here. There's Master of Destruction, where you'll get more actual more resources back from things, which is actually quite cool, I must admit. Oh, that's that's specifically for structures. So every time you destroy one of your structures, you'll get a certain amount of resources back. This is sort of like a one-off thing. You can only get it up to one level, but if you've got a skill in that, it means you destroy a building that you've created and you'll get more resources back. But at this early stage, I'm more interested in this knowledge option. You know, each of them's got different types of knowledge, but what it means is it increases the percentage chance of you gaining more experience every time you do something. So this one, oh wow, so by gathering, so mostly because I was doing all of the gathering there, we've now gained an extra 2 levels. So we've got things like that one to me is just seriously useful. So if I go back outside and if I use inspector mode, so it's saying there's a log over there, for example. So this is something that technically I suppose belongs to me in some respects. Maybe that's why it shows up. But it's a case of arrows, spears, that sort of things would be showing up. But if I change that skill and I'll put that point into survival sense. So I'll put one skill into that. So if I now hold the Alt key down and go for this inspector mode, all of a sudden I can see these little plants. So these are these ones that give you, health back, which is extremely useful. So I'll now be able to see things like mushrooms. Except my little light's gone out, so I need some more. I need 10 straw. But it shows up things like the mushrooms and those little plants, for example, which is really, really useful. I didn't put it in there, did I? I put them into the storage facility. And then you'll also be able to see animals as well. You can pick up things like the boar, which will show up in red, because the thing is they're hostile or potentially hostile, whereas something like a deer would show up in green because they're just quite placid. Right, so put that into a use. So now I can see. Oh, I've got a new level in crafting. Cool. Right, so other skills. So right, back to my survival. So that's just too useful not to have. Because I've gone up in that tier 2 level, I've now got access to tier 3. So these are quite useful. I mean, strong as an ox, get more health. Survivalist means the loss of food and water will go down slower. Headstrong, to be honest, I'm not drinking any alcohol at the moment, so I'm not too fussed about that one. But what I really want to do is I want to put that into my survival knowledge. Crafting. So crafting is where we're crafting things. So because I've been making things like the knives, various tools, I'm getting skill back from that. You'll also get it from blacksmithing, sewing and cooking as well, but we're not doing any sewing. I'm hardly doing any cooking, so I'm just going to focus on that particular one there. So now I'm going to get, every time I do something, you know, for production, I'm going to get an extra 5% experience back. Now technology, it's just telling us we've gone up in technology. We don't allocate any points to technology, but I've now got access to other things. So just curious, can we actually build that hunting lodge yet? I mean, it says we've got 4.4. So what can we do in terms of that? So if we go to, say, extraction. So I could build a woodshed, for example. So that's something I could build. So that's the workshop that I was interested in, wasn't it? So that will be under buildings, crafting. So there's the workshop down there. So it's saying that one you need 10 technology to be able to build the actual that crafting place, the workshop there. So that's why it's saying you need 10 points. And then once you've got access to that, you can start spending money on these blueprints and you can make these sort of things. And I mean, I suppose they are, in some respects, they can be useful. I mean, things like the wooden bowl you need to be able to actually make certain types of food. You'll need the wicker basket. You can sell them off if you want. The bucket, I'm quite interested in the bucket because last time I played this, I couldn't actually make it, but I need that to be able to carry water. We're nowhere near like the farming. Hunting lodge, we're up to 72, so that's why I can make the hunting lodge. So that's quite useful, especially when you get into NPC stuff, but it's where we can make bows, for example. So if I wanted to make a bow, I'm not actually there. It would cost me something like 100 coins to make one, or at least get the blueprint to make one. But at least I'm at the stage where I could actually build a hunting lodge if I wanted to. You tend to build it out a bit further away from your actual main village, out in some like forest area where the NPCs will be able to go hunting. So all I've got to do really is it just says survive for season. So I'm in sort of like day 2, coming towards the end of the day 2. I'm almost into end of day 3. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go around and gather resources. Oh wow, looks like I've already got another rabbit. Cranky, that was quick. So that's down, there's only 28% of it left. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go around and gather some more resources, because really when it comes to this chapter 2 now, all I've got left to do is just survive for this rest of this day. And then we're done, we'll be into the next season basically. And then we'll see where we go then. You don't necessarily have to be back at your village, you know, bang on midnight. It's not like some sort of like Cinderella thing or anything. It's a case of if you're somewhere else, the game will bring you back in, because it kind of sort of like does a restart effectively every time the new season's here. Transfer all of them across, transfer all of them and all of them. I mean, what you can do, because it's night time, if you like, you can actually go to bed and it'll just go straight over to the next day. But so there's about eight minutes, so let's see what happens if I do nothing. You can see my health's actually dropping because I'm out of food. So if you don't eat enough food, or you don't get enough water, you start to lose health. So there you go. So, because we've completed that day and we're into a new cycle, a new season, you can see we are now into summer, which is like 30 degrees. Wow. So for chapter 3, it's a case of we've got to go out and do some more quests. Now we've already actually done a quest for somebody, so it's actually already, you know, allocated that, which is quite handy, I must admit. Spend a talent point in a talent tree. Well, I've already done that. And then we're going to do successful flirting, and then that'll get us 50 dynasty points, but it'll also allow us to start building farms. But it also pushes it up to like a building limit of about 9, whereas at the moment we're capped at 4. So we've got 2 buildings. We've got a limit of 4. So as you get more these dynasty points, or dynasty points, if you will, you get you know, to be able to expand. As you can see, it's already telling us we owe 40 coins in taxes, and that's got to be paid in the springtime. But yeah, that's quite a lot of that we've done. I mean, I've just been going around effectively chopping trees down, gathering things, just boosting these sort of skills. So we don't have any farms yet, so I'm not getting anything from farming. I have been doing some hunting, but yeah, I need another 10 in hunting before I can get more knowledge out of that. Doing quite well in the extraction, because we're right up to, we've maxed that out now. When it comes to diplomacy, that shouldn't take too long to do, because then I can start, it's basically just a case of, you know, talking to people, trading with people. I think that's what it was. Yeah, conversations and bartering. Then the survival, we're right up to there, and that's because we've been going out and gathering things mostly. Production, yeah, I've still got a ways to go in there, although I've got 1 point. And that's mostly just because I've been doing like the cooking and the crafting. So I've been doing quite a few things to just try and boost my points, but yeah, it's a case of getting chapter 3 done next, and that's, well, that's for another episode.